Hi there YouTube, it's Back in the Day Toys with a pretty good Carboot haul video today. It's been a while since we found some old toys and some really cool stuff, so it was really nice to find some really good things. We're actually going to start off over here, and we're just going to focus on the Dungeons and Dragons stuff so that when I show this to my friends, then they can just skip the rest of the video. So, we've been buying a few bits lately for an upcoming project that I might have some vague involvement with, where they're going to make a Dungeons and Dragons tavern to play in, and it's also going to be like a bar. It just sounds amazing. So I'm helping source bits for it. So I found this cool dude. She wanted £30 for this, and £30 for this. There's a little dragon in there, and all the little stuff in the bag is like incense stuff, so that you can set him, not on fire, but you can make him smoke. So they had the dragon in the cage, and they had this fella. They also had something that they said was called a desert rose, which was this amazing crystal thing in a jar, but it was pretty pricey. She wanted like 35 for that. In the end, we agreed on 25 each, so £50 for the pair, which is still a lot of money, especially because when I got home and looked this thing up, it was about £30 new. And then I don't know if these things even came together or whether she just had some rusty old cage and this thing. I haven't looked at the price for this thing. Either way, it's quite a bit of money, but they're both pretty items. In a way, I'm kind of hoping that they don't get used in the Dungeons and Dragons tavern, because they'd look really cool with all my little fairies and crazy creatures on my oddity shelf. Anyway, as I was sort of haggling over the price, some guy came over and said, like, oh, yeah, and started picking that up. And the woman very kindly said, oh, he's literally just buying those. And he looked and he saw this bag of toys that I'm going to show you. And he was like, oh, he's just a reseller. And I went, no, mate, I'm a collector. I mostly collect toys. And he went, oh, and you want this, do you? And I went, well, yeah, I like Dungeons and Dragons stuff too, mate. And he was like, oh, you're just a nerd. And he was so angry. I think he was angry because he saw it and he wanted it. But tough luck, man. I got there first. No need to be angry. Anyway, left the items there, came back for them. When I came back, she had these. I think these would look really nice on Dustin's staff. But I haven't showed Dustin yet. But yeah, maybe they'd be good for Dustin's staff. Anyway, on to other items. Found this, which kind of reminded me of one of the 20-sided dies that we use in Game of Thrones, in Dungeons and Dragons. So I got that. It's a nice big solid stone of some description. That was £5. Bought this for £2. Supposedly it's a Kenyan musical instrument. It doesn't sound like a musical instrument, but it does look really weird. So I'm going to stick that on the oddity shelf. And I bought this from 50p. The person said it was Kenyan and it was an instrument. That does sound more like an instrument. It does look quite cheap, though. So, yeah, I don't know how authentic it is. Saw my favourite trader guy. Saw that he had Dungeons and Dragons books. He had the Player's Handbook. These are all, like, early ones. The Dungeon Master's Guide. Unearthed Arcania. The Dungeoneer's Survival Guide, and Monster Manual number 2. He wanted £10 each for those, and he got that today as well. Tunnels and Trolls, fantasy, the complete fantasy role-playing game. Now, he opened it up to show me, and inside was this. This is a little Dungeons and Dragons hologram. It's not showing up on the camera, I'm afraid, but I'm sure these came free with cereal of some kind. I haven't actually flipped through this, so this will be the first time I flipped through. He said, could I look it up, because his internet wasn't working. So I had a little look, and the sales for these on eBay are really all over the place. Don't know what's going on there. Yeah, some of them have sold for as little as £15. Some of them have sold for as much as £100. And I can't quite see any differences sort of between them as to why some are selling for such crazy money and some are selling for basically no money. But it does look like this is complete from what I can see from the other listings. He wanted £20 for this because he said, I know you don't sell things, you're just a hoarder. And so I know it's going to a good home. Now, I've had a little look at this. I don't think this is actually for me. I don't think I need this. I don't think I want to keep this. But what I may do is sell this, not the hologram, or at least list this on eBay for 100 quid. Seeing as that was 20 and the books were 10 each, I spent 70 on all those books. So just for what I've shown you so far, we're on 50, 70, 125, 127, 129 pounds here on this job lot. So if I could flog this for 100, I would be making a big chunk of my money back and covering the cost of the books or these little cool things. But anyway, what I do with it's irrelevant really, isn't it? So what other goodies did we get? This was probably another quite large spend. This is a whole box of Pogs. Now this was from another trader. There are a lot of Pogs in here. If I recorded a video a few weeks ago where I bought a box of Pogs, they went up on eBay. I think we only spent like 2 or 3 quid on them. And someone sent an offer for 25 or 29 pounds or something. And I'm not actually running the eBay account where this stuff's getting sold. I don't have the time at the minute. Won't go into detail about it, but there's been a lot of stuff happening in my life this week, which has been all good, all really positive, but it has been very draining and taken me away from doing even the most basic of life stuff. So I'm grateful he's running the eBay account while he can. Anyway, we spent 20 quid on this. This is 10 times the size of the £2 box. So hopefully we can flip that for a lot more money as well. On to other things. So there was a really nice family. They were setting up quite late. They had this pile of things. They actually had this that they wanted 50p for. They had this cool like 1960s Batmobile, but it is missing a wheel, which is really annoying. But I think if you display it that way, it'll be all right. They also had these 2 Lego key rings. This thing, which I really like. I'm really drawn to this. It reminds me of, like a Mighty Max playset. It's clearly not, but it's very cool. A couple of Playmobil figures. One that's Ghostbusters. This weird guy, and the kids were like, "Oh, that's his friend." So I just said, "Okay, all right, we'll have him too then." This little Lego figure. This little jar of fairy dust, which is just glitter really, isn't it? This little pixie outfit, and I'm going to use the wings, which I don't think they were busted like that when I picked them up, but maybe they were. As well as this really cool hand-painted, what do you call these, like Russian dolls that are all cats. And I asked them what they wanted for this whole set, and they wanted £1.50 for all of that, 2 quid including the Kenyan rattle, which seemed a bargain, so I was happy to give them the 2 quid for that. Same people had this huge amount of books. All the books were 20p each. Now, I have been buying books that I like the look of, that one day I could read to some kids. And there's Cat in the Hat in here, Monsters Love Underpants, We're Going on an Elf Chase, some troll books. There was a Wallace and Gromit one, Guess How Much I Love You. And then masses and masses of these warrior cats. Now, there's about 15, maybe more, of these. I thought because they were in a run, they've got to be worth something, right? Well, it turns out I was wrong, and they're worth next to nothing. We did buy some other books. Some other store had 3 books for £1, and I picked up a few Terry Pratchett's. Someone else sold me this folder of 10 for 2 quid, and I saw that it said £59.90 on the back, so I was like, bloody hell, even if I sell this for like 20 quid, I'm laughing at the 2 quid investment. Looked them up, you buy them new on Amazon for $9.99, so the RRP is obviously nonsense. These actually seem to go for a little bit of money. King Arthur's Knight Quest, Sword Quest, Dragon Quest, and Star Quest, so we'll do a bundle of those. This mythology book is really strange. It seems to sell for like 20 quid as well as 2 quid. There is something missing from this one, so that's not really any good. Bought this for 50p just because the Cucumber King. We bought a load of comics. A woman said these were 50p each, the comics. We counted through, there was 10. They're quite old. They had a Simpsons graphic novel, 2 Simpson graphic novels in there. So she said 4 quid for that. It was the same woman with that really weird plant thing. Bought this Wham book for 50p. It's not really worth more than the 50p. Oh, that's 6 Dinner Sid. That's another kiddies one. And the same one with the £2 thing sold me all of these at 50p each. Again, looked them up, not worth a great deal. Don't even think my fella in the bookshop, who I'm trying to get some old books for, is going to trade them with me. Oh, and I found these two. Someone had these and this. This Pop Love, it turns into a giant bouquet of flowers, but they obviously only paid 50p for it. As well as these two comics, first editions. They're with a certificate of authenticity. Turns out, even though it says £8 on the back, these are pretty much worthless. So I paid £1 for the three, which is probably about what they're worth, 33p each. Anyway, on to some other things. Good old James of Carboot Collectors was there. He had a cool gargoyle figure and a John Connor. We settled on £3 for the pair of those. He very kindly looked after some stuff for me during the day when it was getting too much to carry. Found this little Ash and Pikachu combo. It was £1 for the pair, which isn't bad. Found this, which is like a very vintage looking sort of charm bracelet of the Disney characters. That was £3. I've looked that up. That might actually be worth a little bit of money, somewhere between 12 and 30 quid. Stack of cards for £1, 20p each. Always buy cards. Don't know why. Saw the fella who makes these bases for Warhammer and Dungeons and Dragons, and he said that I was meant to have that one last time, so he gave me that for free, which was nice. One of the house clearancey people had a big box of like paper paraphernalia, and they had these two. I thought this would make a nice tube for my potions. So that and this, which is one of those stampers that covers up what you've written, like if it's credit card details or something. That was 50p for the two of those. And then they did the stack of Christmas cards and other cards and little bags and all sorts of bits for 50p as well. So that wasn't so bad. Found this Transformers comic. That was 50p. Can't go wrong. This guy had this little cardboard box of these really old Kellogg's cereal toys and Disney toys. I think they all came free in cereal, but they are from like the 70s. So I asked him how much he wanted per piece, like what's the individual cost, and he said 20p. So I started pulling out all the ones that I thought were worth any money, not stuff like this, that went back in the bag, but things that said Kellogg's on them or looked like they might have a bit of value, we grabbed. And we were over a £5, and he came over and he was like, mate, it's a £5 for the box, why don't you just take the whole box? So I thought, he's right, it's not only going to save me money on what I've picked out, but then I can do a little bundle. Ugh, that's all squidgy baby, gross. I'll just bundle up all these pieces of rubbish at the end and put them as a separate lot on eBay too. You never know, maybe someone will want this, who knows. So yeah, that bag was a £5. Then, this is all from one of the guys who's always at the car boot sale. In the last few weeks, he's been pulling little things like this out and putting them on the mat and letting you fill a bag about that size for a £5. Well, this week his van broke down, so he couldn't bring very much, so he decided just to bring all his toys. And as I walked over to his table, he had this massive Beast Wars Optimus Prime. Now, I'm sure I have one of these, but I also think they have a bit of value. So I asked him how much it was, and he said £3. So I thought, oh yeah, bargain. Then he pulled another box out, and you could see just on the top was Street Sharks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them there, and a few little accessories. There's one of the helmets, that actually goes with one that I didn't get, that the other fella there got. And a guitar, which I think goes with this fella. There was a guy next to me who was also just grabbing all the Street Sharks, which is really annoying because in an ideal world, you want to be the only one there grabbing stuff from the box. But, you know, here we go. So he got us 3 or 4, maybe even 5 as well, and he got the better ones, really. But he's not a nasty guy, so I can't be angry with him. We weren't shoving each other. We were both just grabbing from the box. And then a few other toy collectors came over as he pulled out a few more boxes. So I asked him how much he wanted for this little lot before the next boxes came out, and I paid £15 for that little lot, which is a bargain. They need a clean, but it's still a bargain. And then he pulled out all the other boxes, and I pulled these out. Now, when we were with the other toy trader people, everyone was nice and friendly, and so people were all handing things to each other. So I did pick some things up that I then ended up giving to someone else. This is one of my favourite things. This is a Schleich dragon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but these are very expensive toys. Schleich, they're highly detailed, and this is a massive one, so I was very happy with that. Also got this cool little Schleich sort of, I don't know, winged fairy horse. This, which is Skeleton Warriors. This, which I love, this is going to go in one of the jars. I don't know what it's from, but it's going to say like Exhibit 10 or something. This is like Venom, but in car mode, something from Men in Black. This is really cool. Now, I have one of these. This one's broken to pieces, but these are very, very sought after. They normally work, and then this spins round, but unfortunately this one is broken. Just basic Batman. Bad guy, I forget. He's not from... I forget what he's from. I don't think it's necessarily Biker Mice from Mars, but I think it might well be. A couple of bits that I thought were G1, sort of original Power Rangers, because of that logo, but now I'm thinking they're not. Some cheap knockoff dinosaur-y things. This one did make noise, but I can't figure out how to do it here now. Another slightly better quality one. Nice little Sonic the Hedgehog. Now that is an OG Power Ranger thing there. It's missing its part of the mouth, but yeah, that's him. Jake the Snake Roberts. Some knockoff pirate thing. This is cool. These are bits to a Power Ranger thing that I actually have boxed that's missing one piece, and I forget which piece it is, but hopefully it's one of those. This is a bit of a Turtles thing, and a handful of Crash Test Dummies. Also got all these little bits. There's a couple of like little Mr. Men figurines. This, which goes with the other one from the other week that I really like. This really pretty baby dinosaur. I really like the pretty baby dinosaur. An Imperial Toys shark. A couple of those Wily Cat things from Thundercats that need a good clean. This I picked up just because I like the colours, but I got no idea what it was. One bootleg Extreme Dinosaur. Mumra's little hats. A load of these weird babies. Now, I don't know what they're from, but I just picked them up because I thought he's not going to charge me more now that I'm filling a bag. A little baby Yoda. This, which I really like, is just some like monkey skeleton thing. I've got no idea what it's from, but it was really cool. Some strange looking tank that's Transformers. Another little Pikachu. This weird thing, which someone said was from Avatar. And then there was a little bag, and inside the bag it looked like some very pristine, good condition 101 Dalmatians. So we'll try flogging them as a set. When I filled this whole bag up and asked him how much it was, he said £25. So in the end we spent £40. Excuse me. Sorry, we're not going to do another take. So it was £40 on toys. So it has been quite an expensive day at the Carboot, all in all. For all the books, I spent £10, £15 total on all the books that weren't Dungeons and Dragons. The very first thing I picked up, which I haven't spoke about yet, is this here. Now, I went over, and as you all know, I'm making potions. I thought these would be nice for potion bottles. Not only are they a decent size, but oh, what's going on with my phone? No, but they light up. Anyway, they wanted £1 each, so I bought 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, I got 4 of them. I got that one too. Didn't buy these 3, and I got 4 bits of this. Now there's a lot more than 4 there. I got chatting to them. They said they used them for their wedding, which was a bit obvious. And I asked them, "Can you hold on to them for me and I'll come back?" Which they kindly did. And as I walked away, some woman come over, because I explained to them, this is what I'm going to do with the potions. They're £2 each, these light-up things they got in the top. So even spending £1 on them just for the light-up things is better than me buying them. And the bottles are a good size. But after I had a little chat with them, I said congratulations, told them what I used the bottles for, all the best. Some woman come over and went, "Do you know how lovely it is to hear people just being so kind to each other at the car boot sale and explaining things? What a lovely human being you are." So that was really nice. It really made my day that instead of people giving me jip at the car boot like that bloke did for buying things, someone came over and said that I was a nice human being. Didn't mention this. Got some really awful looking gift wrap stuff. That was 50p for the pair. And I got these for free. This is like seashell stuff. I'm going to smash it up and put them in small potion bottles and call it something. But yeah, overall, really good day, guys. Really chuffed. Got some cool stuff for Dungeons & Dragons. Some cool Dungeons & Dragons books. So I've got lumbered with some crap books. But Pogs, old school toys, potion materials. Yeah, we're happy. We had a good day. All the best, guys. Bye.